So, before the strong black woman was an identity, she was a survival plan, a blueprint for how to make it through when the world didn't care if you were broken, if you lived, if you didn't live. Our mothers, our grandmothers, the women before them, even, they didn't get to fall apart. They didn't have the luxury of saying, I'm tired, I can't keep going on. They just had to keep moving, keep holding up, keep proving. And it's my belief that we all come from a lineage that required some kind of maladaptation to survive, behaviors to survive, beliefs, and roles that kept us alive but cost us parts of ourselves, parts of who we are. And they survived, but now we're paying the price of their strength in a different currency. It's taking a toll on our peace of mind, on our pursuit of our purpose, why we're here, on fulfillment, on happiness. Because now we're living lives that look like everything they dreamed of. We have degrees, we have careers, we have homes, multi six-figure careers for some. We have options, and yet we're still carrying the same armor of protection. We're still flinching, still rejecting even the idea of being helped or the idea of needing help. For some of us, we will not ask for help. We'll justify it by saying no one's going to help anyway, or there's no one to help, or who can help. We're still confusing working to the point of exhaustion, burnout, even in white collar professions. We're doing all this for excellence to prove we've inherited, survival habits and turned them into identities. So, what our mothers, the mothers before them, used to stay, in some instances, alive, we have turned them, or they become what we identify ourselves with or as. And so some of us don't even act like we're human in the sense, right? And I'm not talking about, not eating or the Maslow's hierarchies in check, protection, covering food, all that stuff. That's not what I'm talking. I'm talking in terms of feelings, mental, internal well-being. We disregard, we ignore, we don't act like we have feelings, like desires matter. We act, some of us, like everything's perfect for us all the time, even when we have safety. We have become so blinded by proving we are worth it, even when we've already earned it, by just being ourselves. Because one thing I'll always say is you are worthy just as you are, because you are. And if you knew that, if you felt that, it would reflect in the choices, it would reflect in how you are, how you be. And so for many of us, we don't know that we're worthy. It's a novel concept. You are worthy. So we're slowly, quietly disconnecting from ourselves. So today, I want us to call it out. I want us to call out where this way of doing came from. Because generations of Black women were taught that their power came from endurance. And some of my other videos, I talked about struggle, where some of us don't feel good when things come easy, or when we're in relationships that are don't involve struggle, or when things are, there's an ease to things, we begin to question the veracity of it. How can it be so easy? Because we've equated struggle and complicated scenarios and things with value, and things that come easy can't be for us. So we were taught that, we've been programmed or conditioned that your power comes from how much you can endure, how much you can do, how much you can handle. and how much burdens and people's things you can carry before you break. And so the more weight you have on you, the more responsibilities, the more things you're doing, the more powerful you are. And even though we didn't call it trauma, small t, at the time, but now that we know, that's exactly what it was. They called it being a good woman, being dependable and holding it down. Code words for struggle and endurance. So now, even when we are in positions of leadership, we're not there anymore. We're in positions of power. We're running that same old program. We do not know how to stop, even when the figurative fires are out. I'm projecting so you can hear. So we continue to manage, we continue to mediate, excuse me. We continue to manage, we continue to mediate and make it all look so effortless because slowing down feels like it's unsafe, feels dangerous to many of us. I hope you can hear me. But this is what is running underneath all of this. Your nervous system is stuck in survival mode, and your body doesn't trust that rest is a safe thing. So what do? You just keep doing, doing, doing. Because FOMO is a real thing. The fear of missing out is what kept me from stopping when I was tired and not keep going. And even when I accomplished the things that I accomplished, I felt like if I didn't add more, do more, I would be missing out on things. It is a real thing. And it's not just for parties and occasions. Your emotions also don't trust softness because we're mostly operating on a program that viewed softness, emotions as being weak. So now we hide our feelings. We value sticking it out, being tough, holding it in, not breaking down. And yet something inside of you is saying there has to be more than this. This cannot be it. Is this all? And is this the way that I'm going to be? And I can tell you that that is your real self alerting you, like, lady, hear me. And every time you override that voice, every time you say, I'm fine when you're not, when that voice is trying to get your attention, a piece of you gets buried, one piece at a time. A piece of you is feeling unvalued, is feeling like, I don't matter, I won't be heard, I'm not being heard, I shouldn't speak. So gradually, pieces of us are dying, are being buried. And that's why so many high achieving women feel like something's off when nothing is technically wrong. Because what's off is not your life. Your life on the outside looks pretty good. It's the way that you're living it, the way that you're showing up. It's equating who you are with doing and performing. It's not allowing yourself the grace to just be you because you've been performing so long that you've forgotten what that what it feels like not to be doing it anymore. What it feels like not to be in an over proving, over performing, hyper vigilant state. And here's what I really, really want to convey to you in this video, that if you keep going on like this, if I had kept going on like that, I wouldn't just be tired. I would be lost. You would be lost if you keep going. You'll become so practiced at internalizing and holding everything together that one day you'll look up and realize you're holding or you're in a life that no longer accommodates you, no longer nurtures you, that no longer protects you even. It's almost like it turns on you. All that performing, masking, pretending, not feeling safe enough to be vulnerable, not saying no, no boundaries, working, doing, getting, acquiring, turns on you. And when it starts to turn on you, the first thing is that warning. Why is everything feeling like this? Why am I feeling off? Why am I feeling unfulfilled? And if you ignore it, you'll be lost. That's the cost of not unhooking from this pattern now, not next year, not when the kids graduate, not when you get a new boo or you leave a relationship. Now, not in 5 years, not when things calm down, right now, because survival was never meant to be a lifestyle. You know, it was maybe at the time to get you through a period where you needed to do what you needed, and sometimes that happens, but you are definitely out of that phase, and continuing to live like you're in survival mode is not a good thing. That season, or that whole survival phase, was a season, and seasons come and go, seasons pass. That season has passed. So as I wrap up, I want you to ask yourself, what rule about being strong did I inherit? What rule about being strong was passed on to me without maybe even you realizing? How are you defining or living as a strong woman in your life? And what is it costing you to keep obeying that rule, to keep showing up like that? So if this conversation resonated with you and you're realizing that your strength has started to cost you, I want to offer you the high achievers. Actually, I want to offer you the 5 signs that you're hooked on the strong black woman trap, as a first way to, it shows you where you're performing. And I guarantee you that you're performing at least 2, if not 3, of the signs. And it gives you gentle ways to begin to get out of that performative mode based on the signs that you identify. The link is below the video. If you're ready to just stop all of it, like stop survival as a lifestyle, stop over explaining, stop, and finally get back to who you are, or even find out who you are, you know, so that you can shift the way you're living, basically, so that you can get off that cycle of not being authentic to who you are. That's what we do in Embody. It's where we go beyond the surface of understanding the pattern, because you name it, great, you identify it, great, you name it, you look at the patterns, you understand the patterns, but we actually rewire it in your body. It's where your nervous system finally stops bracing for impact, like where you're just like, gotta get this, gotta do this, acquire this. Your relationships start feeling nourishing, they start feeling real. You're around people who respect you, who know you, who love you without all those things. You feel safe enough to share your vulnerabilities, not to show up as perfect, not to keep pretending when you don't want to do this anymore. It's where success starts feeling good again, because you feel good on the inside. So if you're ready for that, or even just to check it out to see if you're a right fit, comment ready and I'll send you the link to the Embody program. Because I want you to know that our mothers survived. Survival was the season that they were in by being strong. We, this season, were meant to thrive. And this is what I like to call our soft girl era. I'll see you in the next video.